All right, Battletech enthusiasts, we've got an incoming question here. I'm going to frame the narrative, offer a little bit of my experience and my tactic, and then I'm going to turn it over to you guys for the resource, for the new players here. This idea in Battletech, a lance, 4 mechs working together, kind of the special forces team, the commando group, and a lot of this depends, what makes up a lance? A lot of this depends, and we're going to look at a light lance in a moment, depends on the time period, depends on the house, depends on the situation, what might be at hand. You find light lances of all light mechs, dropping these 4 mechs, working as a team, working behind enemy lines, recon, no man's land. You can see assault lances, although somewhat rare, 4 assault mechs and pushing those forward. And then somewhere in the middle, a lance of combined mechs working together. A light, a medium, 2 heavies, a light, 2 mediums, a heavy, an assault, light, 2 mediums, 1 medium, all in that combination. Outside of playing a campaign or kind of Battletech RPG, what a lot of us tend to do is you agree on a battle value, this kind of point system, and you build out your lances based on that. And you could also have combined arms, maybe some tanks. So there is a lot of possibility and a lot of variety. But if we're going to build a light lance, what are we looking to capitalize on? How would you build that lance? Independent of theme, independent of something like, let's throw down 4 bug mechs or 4 stingers and go to town with that. I would look at, for light lance, 3 light mechs, 1 heavy mech. And the heavy mech would be very, very focused, very, very specific to work in conjunction with these light mechs. Now, right away, since we're taking 3 light mechs, don't let this idea of putting a heavy in fool you. This is not a lance to engage. This is not a lance to go up against heavier units, heavier groups, or fortified position. This is a lance for recon. This is a lance for discovering things or making attacks of opportunity. Kind of the classic Battletech, your opponent has some backfield units, maybe a longbow, maybe some fire support, maybe some missile carriers, maybe some artillery, just running in a special forces group of light mechs in there to smash that up. Get in, get out. It's not to say it's not going to have some bite. It's not to say it's not going to engage. It could even be engaging other light or fast-moving units that your opponent might have. If we're looking at combined arms and they're looking to throw some cheap, low battle value hover units at you that can move really fast, packing short-range missiles, packing medium lasers to go into your back lines, they're going to skirmish. So maybe you send out your light lance to deal with that. Going to try and keep the battle value down because it would be really easy to just copy and paste Jenner, and this heavy mech. And there's a couple of choices, in my opinion, with that. But the fact that we are including a heavy mech, don't need an assault mech, heavy mech, because I need a little bit of speed, even though it's going to be slower speed. I want to try and keep the battle value down because we got to get a lot of other toys into our list. I would look at Valkyries. I would look at bug mechs, preferably all with jump jets. That kind of puts the Locust out for a moment. Light mechs that have some speed, have some jump capability, and have at least medium lasers. At least medium lasers. And the Valk has that. It's got the LRM pack. We could have some short-range missile packs. We can have some other options in there. Fast-moving, medium laser-based mechs. For the heavy mech, and this is pairing back from yesterday, the Rifleman leading into this. I pushed that up to my channel last week under the Battletech playlist if you want to see some mech reviews. Fire support. A Rifleman, a Jaeger mech, Archer, possibly a longbow. Basically, a heavy mech, I'm spacing for a second. I can't believe this. What kind of mech commander am I? A longbow is an assault mech, I believe. You guys will correct me on that. I'm going to check in a second. But a heavy mech, Archer, Rifleman, Jaeger mech, something with autocannons. If I really wanted to save battle value, it doesn't quite have the bite for it, but a Blackjack. Essentially, a heavier machine that, as you skirmish against other light mechs or light vehicles, they don't really want to get close to that heavy mech because it's got the armor, it's got weapons that it can drive them off. So they're going to try and stay away from that heavy mech, or they're going to look and say, all right, look, Fritz has got 3 light mechs running around, and you could do a Jenner and 2 bug mechs. You could mix and match, but you're not taking like an Irby. It's got to be all fast. If you're looking at that, an opponent might say, well, if I have 4 mechs because we're engaging lance on lance, or I have a battle group of light skirmish hover vehicles, they might look and say, okay, I will stay away from that heavy mech. Now I'm engaging 4 to 3, or 4, 5, and 6 if I've got vehicles to 3. Those are pretty good odds for Battletech. So if they do that, the basic idea of this heavier mech, fire support, dedicated long-range fire support, that's just going to sit there and fire away every turn. I mean, autocannons are kind of the nice aspect because you can fire those, keep those heat down. They've got the range, but long-range missiles will work as well. Firing every single turn. So this idea that you've got your light mechs skirmishing with the other aspects on there, and then it switches over to your support Jaeger mech, rifleman, archer, shooting the long-range missiles, shooting that stuff in that capacity, almost like a little mini mobile fire base. And of course, you could look at some other vehicles to do that too. Build a similar concept around not necessarily a vehicle lance, but a vehicle squadron. So as we look at this idea of mechs, don't think you have to take, if you're playing a light lance, all light mechs, a recon lance. I mean, they exist. They are out there. You can do that. But there's other opportunities to mix and match. Just make sure if you are going to mix and match, if you're going to do a light, a medium, and a heavy, or a light, medium, heavy, and assault, make sure they complement each other. Make sure they can work together as a team, because you have these different speeds and different armor values and different things. If you don't have good synergy, tactically, just on the rules, if you don't have good synergy, meaning I take a really, really, really fast, low armor, light mech, and my other lance mates are a little bit slower, a little bit stronger, that means my opponent can probably take out that light mech easier. If they do, well, I'm down a mech. That's huge, because as soon as you're down a mech, even if it's a light, I'm less guns on the table, but I'm down an initiative sink. I'm down an initiative point right now. That's big, and that's where you see the tide start to really turn. As soon as you take 1 or 2 or 3 losses, it really shifts you on the defensive. All right, switching over to you guys, my fellow mech warriors, my fellow mech commanders, my fellow Battletech enthusiasts, looking at the ultimate light lance. Ultimate light lance, go to town, trying to maintain, and I'm not good at this, but trying to maintain battle value discipline and to get the best that you can for it at the lowest battle value price. Bonus points if you have a light, can't say lance, light battle group, vehicle group. What would you stock that with if we're making that jump into combined arms?